Yeah. What a great environment for college basketball. Women's basketball, that type of game right there. I wish it was televised nationally so everybody could see it. That's what makes our game great. So pretty excited to play in the venue and feel the heat. It stunned us a little bit in the first quarter, put us on our heels, but I thought we gathered and gained our composure. In the second quarter, our defensive intensity ramped up, and then it got us back in the game.
Rick, what did you say between the first and second quarter that they just buckled down defensively so well and they were able to get back in it?
Yeah, I just said take emotion out of it and just think about basketball. Just think about basketball plays. Just think about your job. Think about the thing that you have to do next. Take everything, all the noise, all the environment, take it out of it, and just play basketball. And they did that. Fought back. I've never seen a team fight back like that out of a first quarter hole like that. They did a tremendous job. We just ran out of gas a little bit and didn't hit some shots that we normally hit, that's okay too. And they hit some big shots. I thought when number 8 Patricia hit that three, that was a backbreaker for us. But we didn't turn them over in the second half as much, and I think that affected our offense as well.
Coach, all night long, it seemed like Toledo had a knack for getting those second chance points and opportunities. Now, ultimately, out-rebounding the one by a large margin.
Yep.
What was the cause of that down low?
Yeah, we played a small lineup. We had 4 guards out there for the majority of the game. So it's a tough box out. It's a tough rebounding game, especially when you're playing 4 guards. But I thought our team fought. I thought we got our hand on some stuff. The couple offensive rebounds, they hurt. But other than that, I thought, our smaller lineup was our best lineup tonight.
I know Toledo King maybe doesn't have the star power of some of their teams in the past, but what still makes them tough?
Yeah, I think the environment, for one. I think the environment's, that's probably worth a good 10 points. They're after you. I must have heard my name about 1,000 times. So, I think that's part of it. And then I think, they've got players that hit big shots. 8 didn't hit the majority of her shots early, but she hit the big one. They've got some clutch people that make shots. And, they're physical. They keep the physicality, keep a body on you. So, all that, I think, wears on you.
Do you really think this building's worth 10 points?
Maybe not. I think our building might be worth 10 points. We'll see.
Coach, you mentioned the small lineup. Lauren Gergen had to fight the side to steal a lot of passes.
Mm-hmm.
How impressed were you working with her and how she played defensively?
Yeah, I think she's getting her feet under her. It's hard. She carried all the buckets of water down there, down low. But I think she's getting her feet under. I think she's catching a little stride here. But she played a lot of minutes. Probably hurt her legs on some of those shots. I thought she had some good looks that she usually hits, and she'll hit them next game for sure.
Any other questions? Coach, you guys had forced them with 25 turnovers. Meanwhile, you guys only had 15. Honestly, what did you guys do there to force them to turn the ball over that long?
Yeah, just our normal defense. I think it's pretty tenacious, active. We embrace a downhill drive. We love that. I thought we got some deflections on some post entries that got us out into transition. I just thought we played our normal defense. We didn't do anything abnormal.
And with that deficit of 10 turnovers, you guys still had the same points off turnovers. Anything that you'd like to see clean up there?
Yeah, I thought they got back fairly well. I think they got back and they walled up in the paint, and we couldn't get all the way to the basket. Typically, we're hitting some threes in transition when that happens, but we will. Just off shooting night for us, but we'll get back on track.
Coach, every point matters in these matchups, and Paige Kohler got called to the technical, and one free throw was made off of that. What was the explanation that you got from the officials on that call?
I don't know if I can get in trouble for this. It was optics. Matt's a good official. I don't find fault. he thought she pointed at the defender when she was pointing at our offensive player, saying thanks for the pass, basically. So little miscommunication there, and it cost us a little bit, but that didn't win or lose the game for us.
Now, 4-6 in the conference, looking at Penn State Wednesday, what's it going to take to get back on track and get back in the final?
Yeah, I think we just get back to work. I think this is a group that, we're gonna come back to work tomorrow, and what is tomorrow? Sunday? Monday. We're gonna come back to work Monday and get back to work. We're gonna give the same effort, which is their best effort. We're gonna give the same focus, which is 100% of focus. And we're gonna prepare for Kent State, just like we did tonight.
We're down at 18 at one point in the first quarter, and then you guys were able to just climb back. How did you guys do that? What did Coach say to you guys? How did you just get back in the game?
Just staying together. I mean, it's a tough environment to play in, but as long as we stay together, I mean, we knew it was gonna be like this environment. So just pulling each other in and taking it piece by piece to fight back into the game.
And then, so what do you think the difference was down the stretch in that fourth quarter, final 2-ish minutes?
I'm not sure. I think we just need to stay together more. I mean, we're doing a great job staying together, fighting back, and I think that's what we need to focus on is the way that we fought back in the first quarter.
What a fun environment. What a great game. I have so much respect for Bowling Green and their tradition, their staff, their preparation. We knew that this was going to be a dogfight, and it certainly was. Every time out early when we had the lead, I made sure our team knew that BG was coming. But again, a great staff, a great program, great team. We love the rivalry. We're happy to come out on top tonight. But we're just really, really working toward continuing to get better, literally possession by possession.
Pat said that you were going to yell at her if she was that shot shoot over before that. What was kind of the dynamic there?
Well, I think it's since she walked on campus. I've been begging her to take open shots. It's funny, I went back last year and watched this press conference, watched Kira Goss, watched myself, watched Kendall Carruthers, and there seems to be a common theme. I don't know why my shooters won't shoot when they're open, and other teams' shooters just let it fly. I recruit selfless young women. Maybe that's it. They're great teammates. They want to play through each other. But I've just really been on those two. I think they're tremendous. I think they're great players, and I want them to take open shots. And hopefully, as we continue to do a pretty good job on the offensive glass, they'll understand like a missed three for us statistically is way better than a turnover, because the probability of us getting an offensive rebound is pretty high, and then we can get some second chance points. But yeah, the only time I say fuss. The only time I really fuss at Pat or KC is when they don't shoot.
You guys had a 23-5 lead in the first quarter, and they come back to within a point, I think. How did you kind of coach them through that stretch where it just seemed like you guys were having your own problems with trying to get the ball moving?
Yeah, no, I mean, credit them. They brought the intensity, they brought the toughness. They were popping balls out of our hands. They were, poking rebounds out of, going right between two. And again, they adjusted and elevated, and we failed to there for a minute. So I probably was as animated as you guys have seen me. I don't like when people come into our house and they're tougher than us, and we talked about that at halftime. But of course, BG's coming. It's and we've got a bunch of new guys that don't know that yet. So I can't say enough about their program, their kids, their team, and we were able to, like I said, come out on top tonight.
Speaking of the toughness, you guys all showed down the stretch, to shoot 35%, 25 turnovers. What does it say to still be able to win that game?
Find a way. Find a way, and even when it's ugly, find a way. But we didn't fold, and again, our composure there down the stretch from Pat, from Miriam, from Ella Weaver, I think were huge. Ella comes off that late clock ball screen there and drains that pull-up like she's done it 1,000 times, which she has in practice. She doesn't get to that much in games, but that was great to see. But no, just composure down the stretch. We say all the time in our program, only a full trip's over something behind them. Those 4 quarters were over. What's important now, what's important now, what's important now, and just preach that next play mindset.
You guys keep finding a way. Is the way it's coming along, is it?
Are they trying to kill me? Yes.
Well, I was going to say, is it more, because they always play hard. So
They play hard.
That's the key thing. So is it as frustrating as it is rewarding, or what's the balance there? Is this a rewarding team to coach for as frustrating as they can be?
I love these kids. I don't think I could possibly love them more. They are amazing young women. They're funny. They're fun. They love each other. They work hard. But, it's funny, my high school coach texted me after the Eastern game, and she said, you guys do the dumbest stuff at the worst times. So we have a little bit of that, but we're playing, 3 sophomores, a boatload of minutes. We have 1 grad kid, no seniors. I think that's just a little bit of it. I need to give them the grace to grow into it, and I need to help them play a full 40, figure out a way to compensate for some of our deficiencies and make sure that they play confident. For example, Faith. I don't want Faith to slow down. I want her to play aggressive and confrontational. So I've got to let that kid play free. And then we've got to get in the film room. We've got to figure out the turnover situation. But I don't want the answer to be slow down or tighten up.
Again, just lastly, just kind of bigger picture, everything seems like it's in a pretty good place. But what is the balance, playing all these, but in this era, to bring in more transfers to, I guess, inject immediate juice? What is kind of the balance there? What are you kind of learning as we all go through this?
Well, I didn't know Destiny Robinson was going to be out with the knee. So that's a little bit of our ball handling woes up there at the PG spot. But I think I'm learning that, we want to, at Toledo, our fans in this program, we want to reward loyalty. We want to reward continuity. We want to build still from the ground up and then do what we did with Patricia, bring in, an infusion of some experience. And then, Kendall Carruthers is a transfer as well. Technically, Faith and Eva are transfers because, they were committed to Monmouth and then entered the portal and decided to come here. So, we'll address what we need. We have 2 empty spots moving forward. But right now I'm just really enjoying this basketball team, and we've actually got some great recruits here tonight, and we're excited to spend some time with them.
What is it about this team that they're just not able to get rattled by experiencing a second quarter like they did tonight?
Yeah, hopefully our practice, right? We practice responses, we practice responding. They had the benefit of watching those seniors last year, who were never out of the fight. It's never over. We came back from, I think, as many as 25 down last year. Don't quote me on that. But, game's never over both ways, right? Never up enough, never down too much. But, I think it speaks hopefully to the trust that we have in them. Like I said, I was a little bit more animated tonight, fussed them out a little bit for our effort and our toughness. But it's a fun group. They're a good group. And I'm having a good time coaching them.
What was the element that BG was bringing that frustrated you the most that second quarter? And what did you ultimately see your team execute better after that?
Yeah, they were tougher than us that second quarter. And that physically pains me to say, but I'm always going to give credit when the opponent comes in here and pops us, and they did. So I think that was the biggest thing. It's like we're in Savage Arena. You got 5,500 fans here. This is rivalry week. You need to bring the toughness, and they responded.
And then lastly, same question I asked Ella, but Bowling Green comes to a 1-7 game, final 2 minutes. I think it was like the 140 mark. You guys don't allow a field goal the rest of the way. Just what impressed you most about your defensive effort, especially in the late game possessions?
Now, I think we've done an okay job on the defensive end this year. Credit Jeff Lanier. He runs a lot of that stuff for our team, and it's just fun to watch them lean into the game plan and the schemes. We've talked recently about why that's not translating on the offensive end. The breakdowns that we do to prepare for the way teams are going to guard us. So that's maybe just that little bit of that maturity and growth. But no, I think it speaks to their commitment and their toughness. And quite frankly, we got a little lucky on a few of them. 22 got clean for a few. Kohler got clean for one, and they missed. But they are really good players. They can shoot that thing.
It's the 3rd consecutive game you guys shot 20% or lower from 3, yet you guys are 3-0. How much can you lean on that defense when you guys are maybe not shooting as consistently as you play?
Yeah, it's the droughts, right? It's the long droughts that are so painful. And again, the turnovers apply a lot of pressure on our defense. Your worst defense, everyone's worst defense, NBA, Euro, go all the way around WNBA is transition. It's hardest. It's when you're not ready to guard. And you put yourself in vulnerable situations. So our bad offense at times is putting a lot of pressure on our defense. And so that's really what we have to shore up. Those droughts that mostly result from turnovers and then we foul.
Do you feel good about these late game situations, though, when the offense isn't going as much as you'd like and the pressure's on the defense? Is that something you will always feel good about, or do you think there's going to be a point where maybe it just doesn't work out the way it does?
I have a lot of trust in this team. I don't know that feel good is like a coach. Like, we're never like, I feel great, yeah, we got this. But the second part, we got this. I have a lot of confidence in our team, and I also know that we're watching them grow in real time from quarter to quarter, from half to half, you're seeing Faith grow, you're seeing Eva grow, you're seeing Miriam grow, you're seeing Kendall Carruthers and Pat grow, all the way down, Ella Weaver grow. So I do have trust in that. I have trust in our staff and the preparation that we've done. And then I have also a lot of belief that this league is really good and it's going to be hard. And so we need to play a full 40 so that we don't have so much squeeze there at the end.
Pat, you had that shot down the stretch, the three, Christian O'Connor backbreaker. What did you make of that shot? Can you take us through what you were thinking on that shot?
I was thinking that if I don't shoot it, Coach Jenny's gonna yell at me. That's exactly what was going through my head, even though I was like 0-4 before that, and I knew I had to shoot that one because I was open, so I took it.
You also talked about the environment. What can you say about the crowd and how much that helped you guys tonight?
It was really fun. It was lit. This is my first BG versus Toledo rival game, so they spoke about it all week. I kind of figured what the hype would be like, but I had to see it for myself, and it was really fun.
How confident were you taking that shot? I know you mentioned, 0-4 before that, but just, what gave you the confidence to just take that shot? I know you said you were open.
Coach Jenny yelling at me to shoot when I'm open. Yeah.
You guys out-rebounded BG 54-26, and I know rebounds are always important, but how much of an advantage did that give you guys late?
It gave us some second chance points on the offensive end. We had some really big O boards, and I think that helped us a lot with the second chance points.
I mean, just what defensive adjustments did Bowling Green make in that second quarter, and just what did you, as a player, need to see from your team execute better in the second half?
Yeah, we were just turning it over too much in the first half. I think they adjusted to our shooters and what we were trying to get done on offense and where we were trying to feed into the post. So we just had to take care of it and value the possessions more.
Bowling Green put the lead to a possession at the, I think it was the 145 mark on that open layup, and you guys didn't allow a field goal from them the rest of the game. I mean, just what most impressed you about your defense in the last couple of possessions?
Yeah, I think we just always find a way. There's always a little bit deeper that we can dig, and I think we just came together and just made a decision that nothing was going to stop us from losing this game.